Guys and gals, welcome back to our channel. We're doing redneck things off grid. I got some good hair going on here today. So today we're gonna do something kind of cool. It was recommended to me by Frank and Tina of Frank and Tina's channel. You all know Frank and Tina. So we're gonna do how our do-it-yourself solar and what we've got so far and what we're gonna do in the future. So all right, let's get started. All right, first off, this is our solar well. We had the well drilled. They went 200 feet, and we are one of the first solar wells in our area. And the guy that drilled the well and stuff, he come over and he helped set it up because he wanted to learn how to do it again. And it's kind of interesting how it works. There's a solar pump that's running off 800 watts of solar that's ran, I believe, in sequence. I always get those mixed up. Anyway, it's red to black and red to black and comes out and goes into the box. Well, that's the solar. So he came and drilled the well, and we got, okay, the RPS Solar Pumps is where we got the pumps. Got the pump from. I'll put a link in the description below on how all this, you can call these people if you're interested in a solar well and get it done. It has a charge controller, which it all came with the kit. The charge controller, power box. Oh, there's a nasty black widow right there. Close that guy up. I don't like dew spiders. So this is all from RPS Solar Pumps. We called them, they talked to it, we talked to them. They did a estimate on what we would need for doing a solar pump. And like I said, there's 8 100 watt panels, so that gives us 800 watts. It's hooked into red to black. I can't remember what that's called. I always forget that. And it's run into that. The only thing different about the way we did our pump and the way this one, the pumps are set up for a worker being out in a pasture. So what we did was we talked to them and they set us up. This is a pressure switch that is made specifically for solar projects, solar pumps. So they sent us this, the charge controller, the power box, and all the solar panels and stuff. So, and we had to buy that separate. And what they did that was different than what they do out in the pastures was we had to jump the power for the water sensors that they have in there. You had to jump it because you had to tell the pump that it needed water, and without not having the water sensors, and we replaced it with the tank, it was it became a regular residential well instead of a well that's hooked to a stock tank out in the pasture. So that's one part of it. Okay, then what we did, I just added these four panels. They're 250 watts each. This is a temporary setup that I have. They are running via wire mesh. This big old wire mesh that goes over to this Midnight Classic 250. If you're going to do it yourself, I highly recommend getting one of these. It was highly recommended to me to get one of those, and we did, and I don't regret it at all. As you can see, it's really a busy little thing. I got 26.2 volts coming in. Our batteries are at 14.1. It says 484 watts, and as you can see, it's bulk MMPT, and we're running 34.1 amps. I highly recommend, if you're doing it yourself, spend the money and get one of these. You'll not regret it. It was I mean, it was I'm not gonna lie to you, it was expensive, but we got it. So that is our added system that we did, and it is running in our bathhouse here. I'm gonna get in here. So this is our bathhouse. As you can see, we're building a bathhouse for Leanne, and those 1,000 watts of panels are running into here. We have 9 200 amp hour batteries. They're Renogy 2000s. They're expensive but worth the money. Like I said, it's you're gonna do this, do it right. We spent hundreds of dollars on stuff that didn't work, and we have this it's a Gyandal pure sine wave inverter. It's 4,000 watts and 8,000 watts startup. So we're running 4,000 watts. As you can see right now, the house is, we have this hooked to the house right now. We're running 160 watts in the house with the TV and 2 fans. And we're at 11.9. That's what 160 uses to 160, 130. So we're at 11.9. That's what the draw is to the house. So that is our indoor part of this. We're going to make this like a power station. And what we're doing right now is we're running from our RV via extension cord into the 4,000 watt converter in there, or inverter, I'm sorry. And the way the RV is set up, I'll get to show you that in a minute. But now we're going to go over here and look at the best way to get maximum effect of your solar. Okay, over here I have, when we first started all this, we had these 4 panels, 400 watts. So then I learned as time went by that 400 watts was not enough to run the RV and whatever else we wanted to run. So I added 2 more 100 watt, and these are all Renogy. These 6 here are Renogy that we got through Amazon, and then these 2 are 200 watts each. So that one this is a 200 watt panel, and this is a 200 watt panel. So that's assisting. I can't remember where the stickers are wore off. I think they were Nopia or Mopia panels or something like that. The things wore off. So that's 1,000 watts. That 1,000 watts is going into this EP Ever charge controller. It's a 60 amp charge controller, and you guys are going, oh, that's not protected. Well, it's protected from the elements by the solar panels. And as you can see, we're running, I got 17 17.9 coming in. The batteries are at 13.8. I can't remember what that is. That's a overflow thing. And we got 14.9 amps and 11.5 amps going to the batteries. This one is also running via the wire jungle into the bathhouse. So we have 2,000 watts going in to charge those 1,800 amp hours of batteries, and it's still quite not enough. We're almost to the point where we can run off solar all day and then watch TV all night and stuff. In that little trailer right there is 1,500 more watts of solar that we're going to add to this, so that'll give us 3,500 watts of solar to charge the 9 batteries, and we'll be able to run off solar all day, do whatever we want all day on that. So that is that part of it. Oh, and by the way, I'm not a carpenter, I'm not an electrician, I'm not anything like that. But I watched some videos online, and as you can see, the original one is the wood frame that goes around, and that. So then, as we grew, I added more solar to add these two 200-watt panels, and that gave us the 1,000 watts that we were looking for. I bought these solar arms online. I think it was $202, and it came with this eye right there. I can see that. And these are all run red to red, black to black, and going into the charge controller, and then from charge controller goes to the batteries. Biggest thing, if you're going to build a solar track, this is a solar tracking system. The arms were $202. It came with the sensor eye, and let me open this up real quick, and the solar tracker controller. As you can see, it's all the way to the east right now because it's still early in the morning. But this thing will go from where it's sitting, and by the end of the day it'll be sitting like this when the sun's in the west over there. And it is by far, in my opinion, the best way to get the most use out of your solar panels. That is a good way. That was we had some guys come over and help us build that for just the well, and that is working good for the well. Right now these 1,000 watts is working really good, but I got 1,500 more watts to put, and I'm thinking about building another one of these. It's a solar tracking system, and the hardest part to figure out was the east-west. North-south was pretty easy, but the east-west, I wound up using a 3/4 inch threaded rod, a 3/4 inch piece of conduit, a 1x1 square of steel tubing, and welded it all together on both sides, and then welded that to this, which is old signposts, which is, I believe it's 3-inch signpost that I got from work, that all the short pieces that they didn't use. And the biggest part of this is the stability of your north-south. I had originally had these on there. As you can see, I had these on there, but look at how thin that was. It was starting to bend. So I went and bought this good stock that I highly recommend. If you do this, this is your crucial point to building your solar tracker frame. Make sure you use heavy duty stuff here and heavy duty stuff here for your east-west. And as you can see, I got angle iron everywhere. Different types of angle iron, but it's very efficient. And the post is pounded into the ground almost 5 feet. And I also have a galvanized pipe in the middle of it that I pounded in the ground first. I went in, 3 or 4 feet with that, and then I took this piece and I took a tractor and I whacked on this until I got to the height I wanted. So that's about 4 feet in the ground. A stabilizer pipe 4 feet in the ground. This has withstood 100-mile-an-hour gust of wind. I changed this out because one of the things had bent and it was sitting kittywampus, so I decided to beef this up a lot more. So it's pretty good. You can build it out of whatever you want, and then you set up the arms. Right now we're set up so this is as far east as it goes, is to about right there, about that plane right there. So when the sun comes up and over there, the eye grabs it. But now that we're into fall, the angle of the sun is changing. As you can see, the solar tracker is facing the sun, and it's going to follow the sun all the way till it sets, like I said, and it'll wind up standing straight up and down by the end of the day. So my personal opinion, this is the best way to get the maximum effect of your solar, and it's relatively cheap. You just gotta, like I said, I think the arms were $202, and they came with the solar controller and the eye, and I hooked it up. This is it's doing wonderful. As you can see, my numbers are really good right now. So that is our solar tracking system. So now let's go over and show you what we have in the house. Okay, on the RV. Oops. Hold on a second. Oops. There we go. On the roof, if you can see right there, is a 440 watt panel. It's right, you can see the black and the silver, and there's another one over there behind the air conditioner that's 440 also, and it runs down through, I don't know if you can see the wires in that vent, but there's the wires all hooked together, and it runs down to the vent and comes to this charge controller here, which is the same as the one in the bathhouse. And we're not using this one right now because we're plugged into the bathhouse. And the way this is set up, these three things here are transfer switches, so that when you go to a RV park and you plug your RV into shore power, this kicks off the solar and just allows the solar to charge with the charge controller. And as you can see, we're at 0 watts. Their batteries are at 12.7, but in here the batteries are at 13.8. That's what's coming in. That's what's coming into from the solar panels on top of the roof. So that is I can't remember what this controller is called, but I'm not happy with this one. I'm gonna probably get another no man, I went brain dead. I'm not very happy. I'm trying to get another midnight classic, and all of that is running into under here, where we have 2 of those Renogy 2000s 200 amp hour batteries. we have, so that's 400 amp hours of batteries, which runs the house really good when we're out camping and stuff. We hardly have to use the generator unless we get a cloudy day. We get to get that. We have the battery charger all set up and it's plugged in, and we're running a Predator from Harbor Freight. It's a Predator 9000. It's a running watts of 7250, so it's more than enough power. And when we go camping, we take this little Champion, which is 4500, the Champion 4500, and it's got 3650. It won't run the air conditioner, but usually when we're camping we don't need it because we're usually by a lake, so we don't need it, and that is what we use. So okay, my camera did something really weird, so I'm going to continue this. The really cool part about the way we're set up right now is we have an extension cord running into the bathhouse, which tells that system on the RV that we're on shore power, so that we are if anything happens to the bathhouse, say we get a cloudy day or something and the bathhouse doesn't have enough juice to run the RV, the way we're set up, those transfer switches will switch over to solar, and our 400 amp hour batteries will get us through the night. With we're running a freezer, a TV, and right now 2 fans on this system. I'm trying to get the shadow off my face, but so all in all, it's a pretty good system. It's all do-it-yourself. We had guys mount the panels to the roof because I'm really bad at drilling holes, so we paid a couple $100 to have them do that. It was probably more than that, I don't remember, but I'm just gonna say a couple $100. And they set all the transfer switches up. The transfer switches are hooked to the main power box inside the RV, run with the, I think, 14-3 wire. So anything happens to the bathhouse, transfer switches kick on this solar, and we're good to go. So it's kind of a pretty good backup thing. So that is our do-it-yourself solar, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna re-emphasize, if you're gonna do it yourself, save up and buy good equipment. I learned a lot from GBears Off-Grid Ways, and he helped me, and we're almost to the point where we can run off the solar. When I get the other 2,500 watts together, I think I'm going to build another tracker like that one. So but it'll be a lot bigger. I got to put a lot bigger post in the ground because I'm going to have 10 panels on it, and I figured out how to do it. I still have a separate tracking system with the control box and the eye, and I think one of the arms we had to use because we had a portable tracking system, but that didn't work out very good because it was too bulky to try to transfer. So that's why we went with putting the solar on the roof of the RV. So that is pretty much going to do it. I'd like to thank you guys I hope you learned something from this. I got 4 years invested in getting this system to where we are. If you're on a limited budget, like we are, we get paid at the first of the month every month. I I'm retired, and what we do is at the first of every month we bought solar panels, charge controllers, a couple of batteries every month. So I got about 4 years into getting this system perfected. I'm almost there, and like I said, we're on a limited budget, so the beginning of next month I'll be buying materials to get the other 2,500, the other 1,500 solar tied into our Midnight Classic 250. So it's very doable. Even if you got to buy, even if you got to buy 1 or 2 panels at a time, I recommend getting the highest that you can, like 250s, 440s are good, but they're really expensive. And just buy them 1 or 2 at a time every month until you get set up. Buy your charge controller, buy your inverter. If you're going with the solar tracker, buy your solar tracker. There's no hurry. I mean, you don't have to put all the big expense out at one time. Just do like we did. We little by little. Like one month we ordered the 4,000 watt inverter, and then we decided we needed another one as a backup. Well, it turns out when we decided to build the bathhouse, we decided to turn that into a main power station, so we can just plug the RV into it, and it's shore power, and it's going to be run by 3,500 watts of solar and 9 batteries. I'm probably going to add 3 more batteries, so I'll have 12, and that should be more than enough to run. Eventually we're going to have another RV here. Leanne's mom's RV is right over there. I don't know if I can see that, but it's right over here somewhere. I think right there. We're going to eventually put that over here behind me where the Conex box is there, and we're going to run 2 RVs off of this main bathhouse solar plant. So that is going to do it for this video, guys and gals. I hope you learned something. I hope the best thing about solar, we live in town. We have not had a power bill. We have not had a power bill in going on 4 years. Everything we have is solar, and we're loving it. So God bless everybody. Support your troops. Get out and vote. Enjoy. Solar is by far the way to go. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot to tell. We do have a windmill, and it's a 400 watt windmill, and it's windy a lot here, but the windmills are best for using them as a bonus power source. That's 400 watts. It goes into a charge controller over here that I have to redo, and I'll get to that. But windmills are good, but you have to have the wind to have them, to make them work. And as you can see right now, there's no power. The windmill is not moving, and normally it's pretty windy. And in order to get power out of a windmill, the wind has to be blowing, and to get 400 watts, it has to be blowing. The wind has to be blowing as fast as it says in the book on how much to get 400 watts out of it. It has to be blowing a certain speed continuously to get 400 watts. So all that is when it's on windy days, it's bonus electricity to help keep your battery charged. All right, guys and gals, that's going to do it. I'll see you on the next one. God bless. Thanks for visiting, doing redneck things off grid. We will see you on the next one.